Warning, the following show features stunts performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, everything spicy and the producers must insist that no one attempt to recreate or reenact any stunt or activity performed on this show.
Well, hello, everyone. It is Monday night. Good to see everyone here. We are hanging out on a Monday night. Sorry, I have to apologize. I got called away 2 weeks ago. I had to go pick up my son. Last week it was 4th of July, man. I was watching fireworks. I thought you all would be outside watching fireworks. So I said, you know what? Why don't we just take that week off? Let you guys do you enjoy the 4th of July. And I figured a lot of people were going to do that anyways, right? So I figured, why not just take a night off and watch fireworks with my family? So it is great to see everybody. We got 12 people in the house. If you have not hit the thumbs up yet, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Share us out if you can share us out. It always helps us out. So yeah, tonight's something a little bit different. I went through a very traumatic experience in the last 24 hours. And I don't, I use the word traumatic because, it involved me and it involved my wife. I put my wife in a situation where, I shouldn't have done what I did. I should be smarter than that. But I always think I'm smart, right? I always think don't we do that sometimes? We think we're so smart and we can outsmart the system and, do things that maybe we shouldn't do, and then it catches up with you. I'm really starting to feel today, last night, this morning, like my luck had run out. I start worrying about other things in my life, start worrying about this and that. I'm thinking, did my luck run out? Have I just finally things are start catching up with me, and my lucky streak or my good streak and whatnot, all these little bitty things are going to come back to haunt me. Who knows, But no, it's great to see everyone tonight. I'm going to shout out some people in the chat that I'm going to hurry up and get this guy up out of the basement waiting down there for me. Kimberly Ferris was the first one in. Say hello, hello and good evening, Kimberly Ferris. Good to see you. Kathy Gahan Vapes Vahan. We're going to do a Vahan Gapes or we're going to do Gahan Vapes. Vahan Gapes? All right, whatever. That just sounds vulgar. I shouldn't even say that. That didn't even sound right. So we got Deidre Baker's in the house. What's up, Deidre? Good to see you, girl. Oh, let's go further down here. Stie's in the basement chuckling. We got the computer chick is in the house. What's up, computer chick? Good to see you. B Wizzle. My buddy Brandon's here. And of course, Stie is here. He is in the basement. We will talk. We will talk this evening. We'll get him up here shortly. Texas Gamer Chick is in the house. What's up, Texas Gamer Chick? Good to see you. Lawn Dog. Oh, man, it's been a long time, but I am here. I have to run out in a few minutes and forage for food for dinner in the jungles of the desert. Okay. It's a weird comment, but okay, we'll take that. So that is it. Gary loves great food. I'll be part of your motley crew. There you go. So, yeah, Gary, that's where I went last night. So we're going to bring this gentleman up out of the basement, and we haven't done an intro for this guy in a long time. Let's see if we can find this one here. It's all still in here. Now we're gonna make sure we get the right one. Oh, here we go.
This video, learn how to get rid of a sty fast and maybe even overnight, as we go over the different types of styes that are out there and the different treatments that work. Let's take a look.
See what happens. That monstrous piece of shark. Oh! That fucking son of a bitch! Oh, Jesus H. Christ. Now that doesn't happen often, but when it does, it pisses you off.
Well, hello, Sty. How are you?
Did you see the beard on that guy?
Yeah, right.
Holy God, is he got an awesome beard? I want to grow mine out like his. Yeah.
How you doing, my
Hey, I'm doing good today.
I
That's
look
good.
at it day by day, and today is a good day. It's got to be a good day. I ate a double Whopper with cheese,
Holy
2
mackerel.
large orders of onion rings with zesty sauce, and then I ate a great big old piece of apple cinnamon coffee cake, and that was 650 calories in that one piece of coffee cake.
Wow.
So it's got to be a good day, man.
Yeah.
Chow it down. Chow it
Now,
down.
see, I would call that a bad day.
Yeah,
For me
yeah.
personally, it would taste really good, but I would think I'd be very lethargic after eating all that.
See, and it gives me a bunch of energy. It perks me up. The tough part of today for me, it's a bittersweet day. Well, I sat in your basement. I had my second cigarette for the day.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to go cold turkey today. But then at about 8:30 this morning, I got a phone call that kicked me right the hell off that cart. And I had a cigarette to get through that phone call. And then now this evening, I thought I'll sneak one in before he streams. I was not going to miss your stream tonight if you went live. It's been so long, buddy. But I've been I've been keeping up. I've been watching, so don't think for a minute I ain't keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, I've been watching here and there, and I've been seeing that beard getting thinner. And I apologize.
This is where it goes.
I apologize for not being around.
No, that's fine.
I have. I get weird when stuff like this is happening to people, and I have a hard time. I have a hard time dealing with it.
Sure.
I have a tendency to not deal with it.
Well, that's it. Sometimes people don't want to deal with certain issues. It just touches them a different way.
Yeah.
They just need to step aside and just kind of keep an eye on what's going on, what's happening, but just not get deeply involved.
Yeah.
And right now,
was there, and Mojo was there, and a lot of your outdoors guys were there supporting and whatnot. And
I knew it.
You weren't struggling for conversation while I was gone. That's for sure.
No, and with me, Phil, you're never really gone. I mean, even if I ain't chatting with you, you're never really gone, pal. You're never gone.
I appreciate it. Again,
you betcha.
I think about you all the time. I'm usually there watching for a period of time. I've also I haven't supported people quite with as much view time as I used to. I've gotten so caught up in all these different Viking movies.
Sure.
I was never what was it? The HBO one that everybody watched. I never really got into. That's not Lord of the Rings. That was I forget what it was. It was the HBO one. Someone in the chat will put it up there. But I never really got into that because you had to go back and watch all of this, and it's hard to find the shows. I've been watching these Viking shows because I can get on Netflix and boom, I can binge watch a whole bunch of them. And I can do the other ones. And again, they're all Hulu. They're all right there. I'm actually going through this Viking series, just one that's on Hulu, a second time. I'm almost done watching it for a second time.
Yeah, I've watched almost anything Viking related. I've watched a couple of times, maybe 3. Some of the series are so dang long. There's 8 seasons, and there's 12 or 14 episodes a season, and it's like, oh my God, will I ever get through this? And then when you get to the end of it, you go, did I really watch all of that? Hours and hours? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, I get here late at night after I've gotten off of YouTube and watching someone else. So I'm like, all right, well, I can get a show or two in. And I get a show or two in, and they're only like 42 minutes if you skip the synopsis and you skip the intro. Only about, and then the next thing I know, it's like, well, it's a little bit too early to go to bed. So you get that third show in.
Yeah, squeeze that third, maybe a fourth.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Sometimes squeeze a fourth in when it's like a Friday night, right? I don't have to
Yeah, it's that getting up to go to work thing that's a bummer. It's a bummer. Yeah. Just to give you a quick update, pal, I've got exactly 2 weeks from today, and I'll be at the Mayo Clinic. They'll be doing 2 days of pre-op stuff with me. And on the 27th of July, I go in, get this devil cut out of me.
All right.
And then I got 2 months. They said it'll take about 2 months for me to feel myself again, 100%. So that 2 months, that ain't a bad time
But that's
span.
where they put like the trach thing in, right? For your-
Well, no, they're going to go in and remove my esophagus.
yeah.
Half of it now. They were only going to remove a couple inches. Now they're taking half of it and the top 20% of my stomach. And then they take the stomach, pull it up through your diaphragm, and that turns into your new esophagus.
Yikes.
And so they split your rib cage open on the left side. They open you up from your sternum to your navel in front. And they put a feeding tube in me, and I got all I can eat. I can't eat. I can't eat nothing, but I feed myself liquids for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks after the surgery. But that's all high protein, put weight on you, muscle on you kind of stuff. So I'm game. I'm ready. And I feel, boy, that chemotherapy. Hell, I told him, I said, I'll do another 5 weeks of that if you want me to, but don't ever tell me you're doing radiation on me. That crap, that was killing me, man. That was a lot of pain with it, a lot of pain. But my beard, the chemo took my beard. I mean, at the end of it, if I grabbed my beard and pulled it, looked like I was holding a dead cat.
Okay.
I mean, the hair just came right out, and then it quit. Now I don't think I've lost a beard hair in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, that's good.
And I did notice it is starting to grow in a little more. So it's coming back. And I got hair. Look at man. I got
There
hair.
you go, hair in your head.
Look at that shit.
There you go.
Why did the hair on my head grow and the hair in my beard fall out? I told the dang doctors that's ass backwards.
You know, it's men and hair is always a funny thing, right? We grow as we get older, we grow hair in places we don't want it and lose it in the places that we do. You know, I mean, you would think if you're going to lose hair, you'd lose it all over. But no, it's not the way it works. We lose it on our head and it pops up in other places. So,
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I'm going to tell this little story. And
I want to hear about what happened to you last night, man. When I saw your title, I'm going, no, there ain't nothing worse than that crap, man. Don't tow my vehicle, no.
Well, you
and
know,
especially if you got somebody with you that
right
is depending on you. Ooh.
Well, I've gone down to Comerica Park, Ford Field. You know, I've been down there several times in the last 15 years or so, and they always charge for parking. There's places around when you go to an event. There's places where they charge for parking $20, $30, $40. I mean, but it gets more and more and more expensive. So I've always been one of these guys that I would find a place that I could park where I wouldn't have a problem, where other people that are locals or experienced people that park somewhere that know how to, get around having to pay these, big parking fees, do it. So where we're at off of Woodward, there's a place called the Fillmore and there's a place called the Fox Theater. They both face Comerica Park. Right behind there's all these little roads. There's parking back there, fenced in parking, secure and stuff. But all these mazes of roads back there, people park on the side of the road back there all the time. And I had done it, again, I would say probably at least 6 times. I find out where other cars are parked, park in the same direction, go out there, get out of my car, go to a concert, go to a baseball game, go to a football game, go back there, and my car is there.
Yeah.
Everybody else's is too. So I tell my wife, day before we go to this concert, of course, we went to the Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Pat Benatar concert, which we'd been waiting 2 years for. That was something, when we originally signed up for this concert, that was when COVID hit. So and it was for my wife's best friend's birthday. It was her birthday. It was on the day of her birthday. And so we all decided to get these expensive tickets because we wound up down on the main floor. I'm not going to say what the tickets cost, but I've never in my life spent that much money for concerts. I don't think I've spent that much money, me and the wife combined, in concert tickets for my lifetime.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so where was I going with that? But anyways, so that's where we went down there for. So we get down there, and the first thing I notice is going down Woodward. Now, when you go down Woodward and you get within about 10 miles of Comerica Park, which is really downtown Detroit, in the past 10, 15 years, you're driving down Woodward, it really gets run down. It looks like it did back in the 60s when you had the riots. If anybody knows about the riots back in the 60s, there was riots in Detroit back in the 60s, and it was a big deal. And a lot of areas back there never got a facelift, never got, it's just always, I would get sick to my stomach driving down the road, just looking at it, thinking how horrible that, we live in a country or we live in a state or a city that they wouldn't try to do something, invest in making all of that look better.
Right. Give it a facelift.
Yeah. So saying this, I am driving down Woodward, and man, this is not looking bad. This is actually looking very good. And we get down to the point where I know we're coming up on Comerica Park, and there's all these condominiums on the left-hand side. And what was across from those condominiums was all these vacant lots that you paid for parking. That was all your parking for the Tigers games, for the concerts, for Ford Field. That was stuff that wasn't in the parking lot. And all of this now is all condos and businesses. And I'm like, wow, this is really, I think this is really great. I mean, I love seeing, and I've heard that, the young people from the suburbs are venturing down to Detroit to live and to spend their money. And I've heard this stuff, but I haven't ventured down there myself in a long time. So it's actually really good to see it. So we get down there, and the side streets that I'm used to seeing aren't there. The one by the Fillmore, police had that blocked off. I get past the Fillmore, and there's a road called Adams. And I make a right onto Adams, and there are cars parked along the right-hand side. You go about 100 yards, and there's cars parked along the left-hand side. About 4 cars or whatnot. Now, mind you, in most of these places, even back in the day, there were signs where we parked that said, no parking. Okay. But people parked there anyways. Cars didn't get ticketed. Cars didn't get towed. Cars were there hours later after the event were done. So, smart guy here. Now, again, it should have registered in my brain, right? All of this new stuff going on in downtown Detroit, getting a facelift and everything else. Maybe things have changed in 10, 12 years since the last time I was down there.
Oh, yeah.
You would think that would register in my brain. But that's, that's, of course, they say the miracle of hindsight, right?
Right.
So I'm a smart guy. So we get over to this one area. This one car pulls up. I pull right up behind them. We both back in. So there's 2 cars behind me parked. There's a car in front of me parked. People are getting out. Now, they aren't necessarily people I see getting out and going to the concert. Again, in hindsight, this is what's going through my head. These are people that are going into the restaurants across, whether to pick something up. I don't know what they were doing. But obviously they weren't people that went to the concert, or else their vehicles would have gotten towed too. Now, that was the big thing. So my wife went ahead this one time. Now, my wife, if any of you know Connie or know Connie from me talking about Connie, my wife is my voice of reason. I don't have a voice of reason. I have a mind that says, this is what I want to do. And my wife always talks me into doing the right thing, or the smart thing, or the adult thing, or the thing the 54-year-old guy should be doing.
Right.
Because it's the proper thing to do. She didn't really argue with me about it this time. She was worried about it. She really didn't fight me on it. She could see that I was set in what I wanted to do and that I'd done it in the past. We left the car parked and we went into the venue. Now, I will tell you Concert. Now, I'm going to get into the concert a little bit, and then we'll go on back into what happened. The concert was great. It was sunny, not a cloud in the sky. It started at 4:30.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
America Field, you're wide open. You're right there in the middle of the sun. We spent the first hour that we were there before the concert started hanging out underneath where we were in the shade. But we spent basically 3.5 hours out there with the sun beating down on us in the middle of a baseball field. As a matter of fact, the first two acts, actually, and most of Def Leppard, the performers were staring into the sun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the way the stage was set out in center field, it's good for ball players at a certain point. Right?
Yeah,
When
right.
the ball games start, and but it wasn't good for these guys. I know Joe, the lead singer for Def Leppard, had mentioned it a couple times, and then finally, probably around the last third of their set or their part, the sun set below that. It was still light outside, but it had gotten below the building. Still light outside, but it was no longer shining in his eyes. So, but no, we had a really good time. Again, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts played a great set. She played all of her popular stuff. Some things I hadn't heard, but I've never been a big Joan Jett fan. You know, Put Another Dime in the Jukebox, Baby. Her biggest songs are the ones I know the most words to. So it wasn't, I'm not a anti-Joan Jett, but I'm not, again, I only know her most popular stuff.
Yeah.
And then Poison came out. Poison, I will tell you what, Shawn Michaels and CC DeVille killed it. Matter of fact, Shawn Michaels is a type 1 diabetic, and he's not going to be doing his next show because he overdid it. And he got too much overheated. He was too much running around, dancing, yelling, screaming. He was entertaining. He, as a lead singer of all the bands, he by far did the most running around for his age. You figure most of these guys are in their 60s. I'm 54 years old, and I was watching these guys in the 80s. So, most of these guys in their 60s, some are creeping up on their 70s.
Yeah.
And he's running around doing things like, not jumping quite as high as he did when I was a kid watching him. But you know what? He was out there and he was doing it. So they were really good. Def Leppard, I tell you what, Def Leppard, of all of them, they were the best because Def Leppard sounded the most like Def Leppard on the albums. And I'll tell most people, when I go to a concert, I want to hear my favorite songs.
Yeah.
My favorite songs are usually the ones that are played the most on the radio back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Now they got to blend in a couple of their songs from their newest album, right?
Yeah.
You got to suffer through that and listen to those, and that's when a lot of people will sit down or whatever. And we spent a lot of time standing period of time too, which my knee was not happy with me. And then I'm gonna make this quick comment about my boys, Motley Crue, and then we'll tell you what happened with the car. So if you don't know, if you haven't followed Motley Crue since probably in the last 5-6 years, Vince Neil's been out there singing. He's been out there singing a solo act, and then of course he's been singing with Motley Crue for the last few weeks. Vince doesn't know the words to his songs anymore. I don't know if Vince ever knew the songs to his words anymore. He sings about every third song, and it doesn't seem like that's right. It's like he knows the melody, but he doesn't know the words. He doesn't know the next verse. They had prompters up there for him, and and you can see all this on Google. You can see all this. People say, "Quit giving Vince a hard time," but he had teleprompters down on where you could see when he was having problems with the song. He would go over to that and read from it in order to make sure he had the words right. So,
oh boy!
So we sat there, and the lights were great. The music was great. Nikki Sixx was great. Tommy Lee was great. Mick Mars is still alive. God bless him. Who would have thought that guy, 20 years ago would still be around, would still be playing guitar? Because if you haven't seen The Dirt, if you don't know anything about him, he's had a lot of health issues, back issues, rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of things going on with Mick Mars. So here's what's going through my mind. With knowing how far along into the set we are, I start thinking, we're on the ground floor. We're not that far from the stage. And there's all these people behind us,
Uh-huh.
up in the stands, and there's all these people behind us, still on the ground floor. I'm thinking, my knees hurt. And I says, if we don't get out of here now, I'll be standing here for an hour or more just to get out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
So I turned to my wife. I said, look, let's do this. Let's get out of here. We can hear the songs as we're leaving. We can probably catch a song or two while we're leaving, and we can have a head start on everybody on the way out. So she's like, all right, I'm good with that. So she would have left at the end of Def Leppard if she had her way. She stayed
Sure.
for the Motley Crue part because that's what I was really there for. And then again, Vince kind of disappointed me. So, all right. So we weave our way through the people. We get out of the place. We're walking towards where our Blazer was. And as we're getting there, Connie can see off in the distance, the car's not there, Phil. I'm like, no, that's not where we parked it. We're parked further up. The car's there. She's like, no, Phil, the car's not there. And as we cross the street onto the side of Adams where the car was parked, the realization has started to hit me that I started getting this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach.
She was right.
That is that she was right. But I was like, you know what? Let's walk further down. I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe we were a little bit further down. But as we went to the next street over, the realization came that the cars were then parked facing us. We were parked facing away. So then there it was. I mean, that is the worst. I can tell you what, if you ever had something like this happen to you, that is the worst feeling in the world. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get your vehicle towed and it's during the daytime, you might be able to go pick it up, whatever. This is now 11 o'clock at night. We are in Detroit. My wife goes and starts talking to the police officers, trying to find out, where it might have gotten towed to, what company it might have gotten towed to. Well, I'm started thinking, well, how the are we getting home? We are easily an hour drive, our Uber drive away. I'm thinking $200-$300 Uber drive home.
Oh, sure.
Now, one of the other police officers says, well, you might as well just spend the night. That's going to be cheaper than Uber. But in talking to the tow truck lady, and she gave us a lot of information that owns a towing company, we had to, in order to pick up our vehicle, I had to have my driver's license, which I had. I had to have my current registration. I had to have my current proof of insurance in order to pay a fine in Hamtramck before I could go to the place to pick up my vehicle.
Right. All that's got to be done in front before you go to the impound yard.
But you can't get to your vehicle until you've done all of this. Mm-hmm. Well, guess where my registration and proof of insurance is?
Back home, I bet.
Well, in the vehicle.
Or in the vehicle, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't we all keep maybe we shouldn't, and as I'm, discovering, and I knew
keep copies of.
Yeah, registration and proof of insurance. So, but we take the registration. That gives you 2 registrations. Dumb me, and my wife does it too. We fold them in half. We take both of them and we stick them in the car. So not only do we put 2 of them, both of them.
Yep, they're there.
So we have no choice but to go home and do all of this stuff so we can go back the next morning and pick up the car. Now, keep in mind, we're not close. No. It's late. How are we going to get home? So my wife calls my oldest boy. And my oldest boy is about an hour and a half away.
Oh.
And he's got to work early in the morning. And she calls him, not knowing what to do. Not knowing what to do. And it came to one of us, and I don't know who it was. It might have been her. It might have been me. But we were there with another couple that were friends of our friends that we were supposed to go to the concert with. Now, remember, at the beginning of the story, I told you it was her birthday 2 years ago that this concert was on.
Right.
They couldn't go to the concert because they are living with his mom because she has Alzheimer's. And she's progressively getting worse, and she cannot be left alone.
Right.
Yeah. Why did you have to go to Hamtramck? Because that's where the kiosk was, Mike, that I had to pay. It was the closest kiosk to the towing place. So, so they couldn't go with us. So they gave their tickets to their old neighbors at their across the street from their old house. And they were there when we were at the concert. And we were talking with them and, having a good time with them and everything. So, but we didn't have their phone number. So it came to me. It's like, all right, so I have to call my friends, wake them up. Say, do you have their number? And I must have called 6-7 times before someone picked up. Do you have their phone number? She's like, she's whispering because her husband's sleeping, to go to work the next day. She's like, yeah. So she messages me the number. In the meantime, my wife is still talking to these lady police officers over here. And she's, she wants to cry. She wants to break down and cry, but she's holding it together down here in Detroit. And in the meantime, all these people are walking by us that have gone to the concert. The concert's out now. All these people are still going to their vehicles where they paid for parking,
right,
and going home and getting to bed and all that. So we finally get the phone number. I call about 10 times, got a hold of our friends that were there, and we got a ride home from them. Of course, that was a long walk to that parking structure. We get in there, they drive us home. We got to go home. Now I've got to get on my computer, and this maybe I'm dragging this on, but I got to get on my computer now. Go to the Secretary of State's office for Michigan, print up a duplicate registration. I have to log on to my insurance company, which I'd never really logged on before. I always just did everything, I didn't have a login. Log in there, create a new account so I could print off insurance, so I would have everything the next morning to go. So the next morning, we get up about a half an hour earlier than I normally would get up to go to work. I got to get dressed for work, and we head down there. Now, of course, we're going down to Hamtramck. Now, Mike knows Hamtramck. I will tell you that the directions that we got to go to this place, I went down roads that I know I have seen before. I'm going down all these it's taking 0.2 of a mile, and then you make a right, and then 0.2 of a mile and make a right, and then another 0.2 of a mile and you make a left. And I was like, you know what? I've seen these roads before. They're on nightly news when someone's been freaking killed with a body covered up because someone was killed in the streets out
It was
there.
on that street.
I'm telling you, these rows of houses and just, now at this time of the morning, nobody was out really, but we had to go by all of these houses. Hi, Eileen, how you doing?
Hey, Eileen.
And we get back to a little bit of an industrial area. It's kind of, you've gone through these neighborhoods now. It's a little bit of a rundown industrial area. Let's not kid ourselves. You get back in the Hamtramck, and this is a rundown shithole. You happen to live there, but it's a rundown.
It is what it is, yeah.
And we get to this place that we're supposed to be, and the gate is blocked by a security lady. We drive by it because this can't possibly be the place that's going to have this kiosk where we can pay our $75 so we could take that to the tow yard and get our vehicle. But it is. We turn around, we come back. The girl says, oh, yeah, this is the place, but you got to go around the back side of the building. So we go around the back side of the building. Railroad tracks, railroad cars, graffiti on them. This looks like an abandoned warehouse. But the police have occupied one little section in this thing, and it's a thing for vehicles that have been towed. Inside they have a kiosk, but inside you go into this little square room and you slide things under the window of this lady. Now, of course, I'm thinking we're going to get down there 9 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to get in. We're going to pay this kiosk thing. She's going to give us a receipt. We're going to take this receipt. We're going to drive over to the next place. We're going to give them the receipt. We're going to give them all of our proof of everything again. We're going to pay and we're going to go home. I'm going to get to work in, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10, whatever.
Yeah.
No. We get to the first place, and it's 35 minutes. One lady that comes up to the window. There's more people in the back, but one lady comes up to the window. Because it was taken at night, it wasn't in the system. So she takes her 35 minutes to put everything in the system and then wait for it to register so that we can do the thing in the kiosk.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's all done. Lady says it's done. We sat out in our vehicle for 30 minutes in this shady neighborhood. We come back inside. It's all done. Then she walks me through the security door, just me, not my wife, just me. And they actually have a kiosk, like the Secretary of State kiosk. And I did my thing on the thing, boo-doo-doo-doo, paid for it, got my receipt, got the hell out of there. Now, mind you, the place that the car was towed to works by appointment only.
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
We didn't know how long this other thing was going to take, so we didn't make an appointment yet because we weren't sure that we'd make it if we don't know how busy all this horse shit is, right?
Yeah, right.
So we get done, we go out to the vehicle. My wife calls, the lady's like, okay, she's like, we just paid the thing, we'll be right there. The lady's like, all right, I'll be there in an hour. What? My wife's like, we're like 3 miles away. And the lady's like, I'll be there in an hour. And it's like, well, I guess we're at their mercy, right? They can make it take as long or as short as they want to because they got our vehicle. We've got to pay.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We have got to pay. So it takes us 9 minutes to go 3 miles because they have us detouring. Again, now we weren't being detoured through neighborhoods. We were being detoured through like an industrial area where roads were shut down. They were working on roads. There weren't anybody out there working on them, but they were coned off. I kept feeling like, I didn't say it to my wife, but my wife kept saying, oh my God. Oh my God. I felt like I was in a horror movie or someplace that I was going. I really did. I mean, if you see how run down and all the broken glass and everything, and I felt like we were getting set up.
Going to end up at a dead end somewhere and end up dead.
Right. And I have bad dreams about certain things, and I won't go into them. But yeah, I thought we were going, and I was really so. Finally, eventually, we find this place, and it's like, all right, cool. This is the place. We're just going to park off to the side here and wait. We have 45 minutes to wait for this lady to get here, and I'm droning on. So if I'm boring anybody, long story short, stay out of Detroit or obey the rules, right? So we pull off to the side. We're waiting outside this gate, and of course we're sitting in an area where I don't feel comfortable. I don't see anybody, but it's kind of like you go down there, nothing. You go behind us, nothing. I've got my side mirrors on my truck tilted down so I can see behind us and I can see in front of us. And I'm sitting there with my wife. This is what I'm worried about. I'm there with. I don't worry so much about myself, but I worry about her. And this is where. This is where I really beat myself up because I put her in the bad situation, not only last night, but then I turned around again this morning. He had to go back down there to handle this. So we're sitting there about 15 minutes into sitting there. One of their tow truck guys pull up with the flatbed. He's got a vehicle on the back. He's got the key. He opens it up. He pulls in. He unlocks the next thing. He pulls in. About a couple minutes later, he starts walking up to our vehicle. So we're like, oh, this is cool. So he comes up, he's talking to us, and he's like, oh, yeah, the white Blazer? Yeah, that was me. He's like, yeah, he says, you shouldn't park there. Now, again, we don't blame him. We don't blame nobody that ticketed us. We don't blame anybody for any of this. It was stupid on our behalf. We did it based off of past experiences, which we should have never based things off of our past experiences.
Right.
So that's my fault. I take 100% responsibility. Fulton, when I get done with this story, I'll bring you up. Okay, boy? Because I know how you just come up here and just start talking. So he comes over, now this guy's got 3 teeth that I could see in his mouth.
That you could see.
He was a tow truck driver. But you know what? He was a card. He was a friendly guy, very happy guy. I tell you what, all these people couldn't have been nicer people because the lady that we called that night at the wrecker place, she gave my wife all this information and instructions on what she had to do to get her vehicle. Very, very, very nice lady. Mike's showing me all these Detroit pitch signs and stuff down in the basement. Everybody that we had experienced along the line, we were polite to them. They were polite to us, and they were all wonderful people and helped us get through this a lot better than someone who might have been an asshole.
Right.
And I would think, a lot of people that get their shit towed, don't think that they're at fault. They can be an asshole to the people that's got their cars.
Right.
And people would be assholes back to them.
Right. Yeah.
So,
What goes around comes around. Yeah.
exactly. So of course he's talking to us. He pulls our vehicle up inside the gated area. The lady finally gets there. We're allowed to go in. Now, of course, it's not in her system either. It was dropped off last night. So she's just getting there. She's just opening up. She's got to put all this. So we're there another 30 minutes waiting for her to do all of this, because she's got to do all this in order to do,
Yeah, she can't release it without doing it.
Right. So she does everything. We pay our fine. They pull our vehicle around. We pull out, and then we head for home. Luckily, where we were at, we were only a couple of miles now that we know off of I-75, because we took a few turns. We probably didn't drive 2 or 3 miles zigzagging on roads, and the next thing we were on a side street getting on I-75, and we were headed north.
Out of there.
Yeah. So, and then of course I split off from my wife, went to down Rochester Road to go to my work, and she came home because she was a smart girl and took the day off yesterday or after the concert in case she had too much good time. So, the moral of the story, people, first of all, if you got to pay for parking, just pay for parking.
Yeah.
I am $315 poorer today for not paying $50 for parking that I should have. And I wasted my entire morning. My entire evening was kind of wasted after that. And I made myself feel awful. I made my wife feel awful. I made her not feel good. It's just, you know what? It's a learning experience. And it sucks that I have got to learn from making mistakes. Ain't nobody got no time for that.
Ain't nobody got no time for that. Yeah.
It's a shame that I've got to learn from my mistakes, and I've made some mistakes.
Hey, Mike.
I've made worse mistakes than this, but I've made some mistakes, and I am happy that at the end of the day, the money's paid. We got our vehicles back. Neither one of us were hurt, injured, or at any really time. We were more scared based on our minds and our thoughts.
Sure.
Than what really happened.
Yeah.
But you hear stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You hear stories. So hearing stories will make you be a little cautious.
Yeah, especially when those stories are headline news.
Right. It seems like every night on, nightly news, you hear about someone being shot or something down there.
I used to haul freight into the industrial zones of Detroit, and I'd go to the warehouse. There wouldn't be another semi-truck anywhere. There wouldn't be a car anywhere. No, when the shift ends, the evening shift, everybody vacates that area. Nobody's down there, because anybody that is down there is up to no good. And lay in a semi-truck in the sleeper hearing gunshots going off. And you're like, God, I hope the sun comes up soon. I hope it comes up soon. And sure enough, as the sun starts to rise, all these workers start coming back into that industrial area, and trucks start showing up. And then they tell you, nobody sleeps down here. Are you nuts? Why didn't they tell me before I did it,
Well, we were sitting in that first place that we were sitting off. We're looking at railroad cars on railroad tracks, just the cars with graffiti on them. And off in the distance, you can see an industrial building. You can see the Constantine wire that was on the top of the fence over there.
Yeah.
Oh, and where we went to pick up our car, we went by a correctional facility. It must be a low, what was it, Drummond or what was it? Mike, do you remember the correctional facility there in Hamtramck?
Yeah, it's right by the Poletown plant.
Yeah. I mean,
it's on Hamtramck Drive, actually.
All these little bitty windows, and I looked at my wife and said, "That's got to be a prison." And she's like, "But it didn't have any Constantine wire or any."
No, it's actually it's like a part 2 for the Wayne County Jail, is what it actually is.
Oh,
overflow for the jail.
Yeah, but that's been there. Shit, I lived down there 20-some years ago. So when they built that, so That's been there a while.
Yeah, it looked again. It looked like a place that I don't ever want to go again, and I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I actually lived on the other side of that train yard
Yeah,
because that train yard divides Hamtramck and Detroit. I lived right on the Detroit side. Like literally, I could throw a rock across into Hamtramck. I lived like right there.
yeah.
Up
And
near the hood.
I wish I remember. Oh, I can tell you. Well, the place that we picked up the vehicle was on Trombley. And the other place was, I got my reminders here. Can I take the address down? Elliott Court, Mount Elliott Court.
Oh.
So
Yeah, it
I'm
used
sure
to
you know
be
right
on-
where all that was.
Yeah, one in Hamtramck used to be on Buffalo Street.
Yeah, it was the name of the place was BBK Towing. So nope, nice. Everybody that we encountered, from the police officers, lady police officers outside. Don't start talking over me, Fulton. What's up, Fulton? How you
Hey, Phil. Hey, Sty.
doing?
Hey, Mike.
Everybody we encountered were the nicest, politest people that you could think of, and they sympathized with my wife at the end when we're taking the vehicle out. But she says, "Thank you very much." She says, "I'd say hope to see you again," but she says, "I hope to never see you again." And the lady laughed. She's like, "I understand." And yeah, it was. And that that's a if you've ever seen any of those towing shows, this is a rundown little shithole place that's all boarded up. You walk into a little bitty room where there's a glass window and a place that big that you can slide shit under.
Yeah.
So nobody can get to the people on the other side. And yeah, it's
There's a good show. It's called Parking Wars, and they actually have
yeah.
most of it's based in Philadelphia and Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
People going in
I've
their
watched-
cars when they're towed. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
my
That's a
wife
good show.
my wife watches those shows, and she kept telling me how things were going to happen.
This is coming next.
Yeah,
It's,
she knew. I mean, she knew from watching those things.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've only had one impound, where I've had a vehicle impounded like that. And that was in Minneapolis. And now, mind you, that was in 1978. And it cost me $125 to get it out of impound in 1978.
Wow.
I couldn't believe how much they wanted. Holy God, that's 3 days' wages back then,
Connie, I know a good divorce lawyer.
Oh, Connie, I feel bad for you having to tag along with this guy and get you all mess
Phil,
up all your plans. Yeah.
My neighbor took her first road trip with her new car today.
Oh yeah.
She went up to Curtis, Michigan, which is the other side of Mackinac Bridge.
Oh yeah.
And she went by
Other side
herself.
of Mackinac Bridge. Wow.
6-hour drive by herself. So
Oh, and went over the bridge.
she went over the bridge and through the woods.
Oh, and here's the part I left out. About 2 songs into Motley Crue set, Connie turned and looked at me. She said, "I just got this sick feeling that the car's not going to be there." And I was like, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And right at that minute, they're just getting ready to hook up. And she was feeling it. She was feeling it. Like, something tells me we ain't going home in that rig and the Blazer.
Yeah, she had a sixth sense for it that I didn't. Again, I wouldn't have parked there had I had that same sixth sense.
Well, what you can do is get a hold of Dan Gilbert, who is the guy that's nice enough to redevelop all that area down there where you used to park, and see if you can get your money back from him.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll help you out.
Yeah.
He owns half of Detroit.
I hope that he's gonna help me out, but yeah, that was
Well, if he owns half of Detroit,
He owns a lot.
he's burning up a lot of his assets.
Oh, he's a billionaire. He don't care.
Yeah, he don't care. He don't care. Yeah. Well, and I think that what you were talking about, Phil, that areas that you saw that you recall, they looked like they did in the 60s. Back in the 60s during the Detroit riot era, my uncle took us right through the heart of that crap with his brand new Cadillac. And by the time we got home, his caddy didn't look new anymore. I mean, they were throwing bricks at us and all kinds of crap driving through the neck of the woods. But to hear what you were saying, I'm like, yeah, bravo, man. the city needs to recover. You know, it needs to grow. It needs to recover. And if it's good stuff, you know, it's recovering for the good. Yeah. Bravo.
Yeah. It's funny because my wife when she was doing her property management job, I forget where she was going, but she had somewhere she had to go, and she went somewhere down there in her convertible. I don't forget where it was. She'll probably tell me in the chat, but she came to a stop at a light, and then suddenly the person behind her starts laying on the horn, and she stopped at a red light, and come to find out, someone told her, it says, "You get down there, you stop at the red light, and then you go. So if there's no one coming, you go. You don't wait around."
Yeah.
Because
we were told that driving truck down there, you treat reds as yields.
Yeah.
You treat them as a yield, not a stop. You know, if all you got to do is roll her down slow, and if it's clear, go through. Yeah.
Well,
downtown ain't bad that much anymore.
Yeah, not obviously not if you stay off the side, you know, stay out of the neighborhoods and stuff. But Dorito, yes, no. Luckily for us, the vehicle was towed instead of stripped. It could have been worse, you know. They could have put it up on blocks, taken all the wheels, it could have been one of those, you know, 10-minute chop jobs where, you know, you get back out there and you got the body and the frame and everything else is gone.
That would be a good reality show, man. Do like Detroit, Minneapolis, and New York, and Philly maybe, because when I was driving truck over the road, I had a load of horse feed. Actually, I was taking it to the Yonkers Raceway in Yonkers, New York. Well, that's not a good neck of the woods. I'm telling you, the horses have more brains than everybody that lives there. But I came off the interchange and came down the exit ramp, heading right for the horse track, and there's a car on the side of the road. Broke down. He's got his 4-ways on, and he's getting out of the car, and a taxi pulled up, picked the guy up, and they left. I thought, oh, that poor sucker. What a place to be broke down on a 10-lane highway. I get into the racetrack, unload, come back out. Literally an hour and a half is all it was since I had seen that guy park his car and jump in that cab. And when I came by, all that was left was the body of the car. The windows, they even stole the windows, the glass off of it. The car was laying on the ground with no wheels, no drums, no brakes, nothing. The hood was gone. There was no engine in it. I was in a cab over truck, and as I went by, I'm looking down, I'm going, they took the engine out of it.
Took the engine.
Everything. They stripped that car and just left literally the steel shell of the body.
Wow.
And that was an hour and a half. What the heck did they pull up to that thing with to disassemble that car that fast? You know, they had to have a crew. They had to have a big truck with an air compressor and all that. And they just pulled up and got it. Let's go. I'd like to see how different cities strip these cars on the side of the roads. You know.
Yeah, well, you almost have to put like a bait car out there, right?
Yeah. No kidding.
You know, and see, you could almost make it a competition. See which city could strip one down the farthest, the quickest.
yeah. The most stripped off and the fastest. You know, I think that'd be a great reality deal to do. You know, put those bait cars out.
It'd be expensive to get going, considering you'd have to buy like a similar type of vehicle for every situation, right?
Right.
Some vehicles would be easier to strip down than others.
Yeah. You'd want to make sure that all the vehicles were generally the same, identical type vehicles. To be
look where this conversation went.
Yeah.
Did you turn to Connie and say, "Dude, where's my car"?
That never crossed my mind.
That's what I would have did.
Yeah.
And got ready for the slap.
I trust me, because I wasn't feeling very good at it. I mean, again, as soon as I realized it was gone, there was a sickness in the pit of my stomach, and I know it was Connie's too.
Connie, it's like a pit crew at the races. Yeah, you're right, Connie. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, what, and I know, isn't it an odd kind of deep in the gut feeling when you realize my car's gone, man.
Yeah.
It's like your mind shuts down and stops to reason. It's like,
See why I
what do I
didn't
do?
say that, Mike?
What's that?
See why I didn't say that, Mike?
I
She
said
would've
that, and then
knocked
you
me
wait for the
out.
smack. I said, and then you wait for the smack.
Yep.
Kapow.
Hey, you've seen enough little videos where Connie's smacking me where it's not in
That's the soft stuff.
it's in her nature to do so.
Yeah.
I'm a battered husband. Not that I don't deserve it, but
Well, that's it.
at least that's what she's convinced me of, is that I'm a battered husband and I deserve it. So
I think that's the way most of our court systems look at it nowadays too, is did you have it coming? You're not battered if you had it coming. Let's just look at it this way. You were disciplined.
yeah, you're right. You're right, Gary. First of all, my wife said she doesn't ever want to go back down there again. But she did say this evening when I got home, she says, if we ever do, we will definitely, be in paid parking, something that's secure, something that we don't have to worry about.
Well, see, the way you were talking about the parking lots that used to be there, now they're all developed and that, down at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, it's people, unless you go there, have been there, people don't realize Lambeau Field is surrounded by one of Green Bay's largest residential communities. And every yard for 4 blocks in from the field, every yard's got a sign in the front. Game parking, $30.
Oh,
And
okay.
everybody fills their yards with cars, man, because it's $50 in the stadium lot. So, yeah, for $30, we can park in that guy's yard, just walk across the street. We're not walking any further than we would if we parked there. So, yeah, everybody's a parking lot in Green Bay that's within 4 blocks of the stadium. It's hilarious. You go down there and you go, how do they maintain their yards? And then I noticed 2 of the yards had these big piles of the rolled up sod on the side of their yard. And I thought, I bet you they resod their yard twice, 2-3 times a year because of all the traffic tearing it up,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be depending on how big a yard you got. U of M's kind of that way too. When we went to a U of M football game a long time ago, it's just surrounded by neighborhoods. So I can't relate. I don't remember quite as well as you do about what that was, but as I can remember, there were a lot of parking going on in people's yards and things like that.
Yeah. Well, Green Bay tried to pass a city ordinance that you could do that. You could allow people to park in your yard, but you had to have an actual driveway type access. You can't jump the curbs. You got to have an access, legal access onto the property. And they wanted to charge those people per game, like $250 or something per game to have parking in their yards. So if you didn't have that permit displayed in your yard, they'd stop and fine you, and the fine was like $1,000 or something. Well, it wasn't just the whole town, it was everybody in the state of Wisconsin got a hold of that city and said, you do that shit, we'll burn your office down. You can't be doing that to us, don't mess with the Packers game, I just laughed. I just like, oh boy, they want a piece of the pie, but everybody else wants cheap parking,
Yeah.
And they knew it wouldn't be cheap anymore once these guys got to pay. They got to pony up for permits and crap. So,
Well, if you ever go to Ford Field, park at Greektown. Park in the parking structure at Greektown Casino, right across the street.
Well, we used to park at the Phoenix Center to go to the Silverdome.
Yeah.
You go to the Phoenix Center, park there. They put you on a bus. They take you down to the Silverdome there in Pontiac. At the end, you come back to your vehicle. You were away from all that mayhem. But
yeah. That's kind of sounds what you just described, what I get at the Mayo Clinic and hospital at the end of the month. I got a 4-star, well, it's 4.5 star actually, hotel room, sweet deal. I got it for 4 days for $400, and they've got on-demand limo service for Mayo Clinic patients. They said, You call the front desk, and 15 minutes advance notice is all we need, and there'll be a shuttle sitting out front waiting for you. Take you anywhere you want within Rochester, no fee. Boom, boom. Boy, they treat Mayo patients really good. That's almost makes you want to fake something, just to be a Mayo patient. But that down there, the way it's set up, the Mayo health system down there, they have 30 health services buildings in their system. The hospital covers 4 city blocks. The Mayo Clinic and its associated building, there's 2 buildings there, that covers almost 4 blocks. Well, they said they'll even give you a shuttle service from the front door of the Mayo Clinic to the front door of this other part of the Krogan building or whatever, where they do a lot of tests and stuff. They'll give you shuttle service around the building because the buildings are so damn big. They got a subway that runs underneath the Mayo Clinic and out to the hospitals, and they got their own subway system, the Mayo Clinic. Now, back in the 70s, I drove truck in Rochester, Minnesota, hauling corn out of there because it's all farms. Downtown was like this town I live in here with 10,000 people. I mean, it was nothing. There was nothing in Rochester. There was this little Mayo Clinic thing going on, but that's it. Now it looks like downtown Minneapolis. And there's tax rate to stay in a hotel, 8.1% tax.
Wow.
And then you got to pay I take that back. It's 9% tax because the 8.1 is the sales tax. So you got to add those 2 together, and that's your total tax for your room rate.
I wish I could fart right now right on Fulton's head.
Oh, I wish you could. I wish you had the squirt. I wish you had the squirts. The squirts would be great. Splat, splat, splat.
What's up, J-Dub Vlogs? Good to see you.
Hey, J-Dub.
Hey, J-Dub.
How are you, Phil? You doing all right, bud?
Well, to have this day these last 2 days behind me, to have this last, at this time yesterday, we were still at the concert. We were still rocking out. We were 9:30. We were probably in between Def Leppard and Motley Crue right at this time. But little did we know that nothing was sitting outside waiting for us. What's up, Katie? Good to see you, girl.
Phil, did I not tell you? My girl Renee passed away.
What's that?
My girl Renee passed away on May 31st.
Who did?
My girl Mo.
Oh yeah, you talked about that before.
Yeah.
She had lung cancer, and
sorry to hear that, Fulton. Let's stay on top.
yeah, that's okay, Phil. I'm just still having that moment right now. It's just a lot of memories.
Yeah. Oh. So have you always been down in that area then, Mike? Have you always kind of been down? I mean, are you really in a bad part of Warren, or?
I'm only a mile from the Detroit border.
From where?
Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I'm at 9 Mile. Detroit starts at 8 Mile.
Okay.
No, my neighborhood's not bad at all.
That's good.
For as much shit as I leave outside, I've never had anything missing from here. Now, when I lived in Hazel Park, which is a little more uppity, I had shit stolen at least once a week out of my yard, out of my garage.
Really?
I've here in 9 years, not one thing missing. And I leave the gates open and everything. I don't even lock the house. I don't even lock my doors. I leave. So no.
Yeah, and we lock everything up tight here where we live.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I tell you, I don't lock my vehicles. But I don't want anybody wandering into my house. We had an episode years and years and years ago where we were over at our friend's house, and our kids called us up and said someone was out on our front porch trying to get into the house. And this is still daylight out. And of course, none of us thought about just tell the kids to call 911. They went down in the basement. But it turns out some drunk guy all the way out here in the country we're at. He thought he was over at his girlfriend's house or girl's house, and he was yelling and was drunk and wanted to get in the house to see her and everything else. And no, my kids went down to the basement, and eventually the guy went away. But weird stuff happened.
I don't think it was Phil Bradley. A lot of stuff that was stolen was bicycles, and that's exercise. So, yeah.
Shut it.
I should probably head out, Phil. It's been a busy day today.
Well, good to see you, Fulton.
It was good to see you. Hey, Phil, don't forget, I'll be 23 next week.
23.
On the 20th.
I remember when he turned 21 and he had his first alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
I'm getting to be an old man.
don't count.
Yep, 22, and now I'm be 23.
What's up, Jimmy Pickles?
Hey, Jimmy.
All right, Fulton. You have a good night. All right.
I will. Thanks, Phil.
Give your mom a kiss for me.
I will.
Me too.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I
God.
love the kid.
Oh.
The innocence of that poor young man.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure it's a wet one.
No,
That was terrible.
oh jeez.
Oh, my lordy. Oh.
So what have you
that-
been up to there, Mike?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Trying to survive.
Darn
So
it,
the
survive.
scrap prices keep dropping, eh?
Terrible.
All your scrap
terrible.
prices are going down.
They're in the toilet. I mean, even the e-waste went down twice in the last week and a half.
Wow.
I actually had to call the scrapyard because I got 6 pallets of shit to pick up. But I told them today. I said, you're gonna have to drop my price on buying it. I did a video today, and I took one computer apart, broke it all down into different components, and added from what I paid for the entire computer when I bought it, which was like $4, almost $5. So when I broke it all down, weighed it all up, added it all up, I made $1.50.
Wow.
Can't do that.
No,
And,
no,
Not
that-
worth your time.
and if it don't matter if you have 10 of them or if you have 500 of them, you're not making. And I have to go to Ohio, so I have to rent a truck, pay mileage, pay
right.
fuel, pay my help, and pay the rental. So,
And you just ate up that $1.50.
but yeah, it's just
no.
Yeah. You're
And
in
they'll-
one of those
and I would
periods
think-
where sit on it and
Mhm.
wait for the price, man. Oh,
Yeah.
And then I would think they'd want to give you that scrap at a cheaper price because again,
Yeah.
if they start having to hold on to it, it ain't going up.
Right.
Getting any
Well,
better value.
the problem is they buy it as one thing. They buy it as breakage, so they have to pay for it. So now
Right.
they can either throw it in their scrap dumpster, or they put it on a pallet and they sell it to me. So they sell it to me as just electronics. So this way they're buying it as breakage and they're selling it to me, so they're making some money off of me. A little bit more than what they would buy it for. And then, then I break it down, process it. But I mean, you can make money on it, but right now it's just everywhere. Scrap is terrible. I don't want his crappy ass Chevy truck in that garage. But yeah, it's just, like I said, I have two scrapyard pickups. I have 3 computer stores, and I just, I mean, they're all holding it for me, but they're not going to hold it forever.
Right.
Until I figure out, where what I want to do. When you do it for a living like I do, it's getting really, really tight. It's getting rough.
Yeah,
I probably have 3,000 or 3 ton of scrap metal behind the garage at 5 cents a pound. That's $100 a ton.
Wow.
So I can bust my ass for 2 days for $300. It's just not worth it, and it's all heavy shit. So
yeah.
I don't know. I have to figure out this weekend what I want, or this week what I want to do, and either bite the bullet and sell some of it next week or die.
Wow.
File bankruptcy.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a crazy business if you're in that kind of a business,
Because
Yeah.
every day you got to juggle numbers.
Yeah.
And you got to go through everything you have that you already have processed that you can sell and figure out, what can I sell this but still keep, part of it. And, it's just like air conditioning, like the radiators that are air conditioners. Here's a good example. On Monday, they were $1.44 a pound. On Thursday, they were $1.32 a pound. On Friday, they were $1.30 a pound. And I didn't even call today because I probably would have just cried. And I have like 600 pounds of that shit. It's terrible.
Everything's going up. Why would the price of that be going down?
I think what it is, and I know it's just my thought, is the foundries have to pay for the fuel to run the foundries. Skyrocketing.
Yeah, true.
So now, if they're spending all this money on fuel to run these foundries, they're not making enough, to process whatever it is they're processing.
They can't jack up the end product enough to make it profitable for them.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But it just seems funny that, I don't have to bring up politics or anything, but because me, I don't deal with politics. But I think since the Ukrainian thing started, that's when everything started going down.
I don't deal with that polyfix either. My teeth fit just fine.
Right.
That polyfix, I don't want to hear about it. Brush your teeth, you won't need them polyfixins.
Yeah, but I think that's what started it. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's more difficult to get a lot of different things in our country today, and I mean,
well, that's
my manager, my scrapyard manager said every day it's getting worse and worse. And they've actually laid off 3 people at my main yard because no business.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. 2 days ago, I went down and visited the campground that I hosted last year, and then I went down to the Black Lake campground where Travis Tales of Campground hosts, where he hosts this year. He's hosting again this year, but I couldn't believe how empty those campgrounds were. We had the most beautiful weekend this weekend. I get down there and I'm talking to Travis, and he said, we're running less than 40% occupancy compared to last year. I said, well, yeah, East Twin Lake, my campground, was full 100% the whole month of July and August, packed full. There were 2 campers in that campground when I got there on a Saturday morning. Beautiful weather. It was awesome. The place was empty. And the Forest Service said that they ask people, because they'll make reservations, but then they cancel. They said cancellations are almost 80%. About 80% of all reservations that are made, they're canceled. 80% of them. And the Forest Service will ask, could you tell us why you needed to cancel, if you would, just for our information? And Forest Service says almost every single one of them it was cost prohibitive because of fuel and food costs to be camping. And the Forest Service hasn't changed its rates. It's still $15 a night for those sites, same as it was for the last 12 years. I mean,
and everybody's changed their rates. Everything has gone up. So
yeah,
the fact they haven't changed their rates is actually saying something.
right. See, the Forest Service, thank goodness, I don't like bureaucracies to start with, but that bureaucracy, at least they got some sound heads going there. They're saying, no, Uncle Joe don't tell us what we price our campgrounds. We do within our agency. And they said, no, we're not going to discourage people from camping. And if we raise our rates on top of the inflationary rates that are them paying $5 a gallon for gas to get here, our campgrounds will be empty. They'll be empty. So they decided, nope, they're going to fix their rates. And they actually laid off 3 of a 5 forest ranger crew. 3 people, they've laid them off indefinitely for this season and everybody's doubling up, doing 3-4 times what they usually would do, just because they said, we're not going to raise our costs. We're not going to raise our costs. We got to keep our costs down so that people can and still provide the service, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that attitude with them. I'm surprised because the state ain't doing that here in Wisconsin. They laid everybody off at the state parks. They don't even clean the bathroom. They've got a mandate that the bathrooms, public bathrooms, are only allowed to be cleaned once a month.
What?
Once a month.
How do you get away with that?
They can go in and put toilet paper in them, but they're not to clean them except for once a month. Now, would you use a restroom that's never cleaned but once a month? No. I would. Once the janitor walks out the door, I'd say, I'm first.
Yeah.
And then after that, 30 days, I'm going to hold it, man, because that's insane. That's insane.
Yep.
I walked into a restroom, I won't say what state park it was, on Saturday, and I was amazed I was able to even get in the door. It reeked so bad, and it was feces covered, nasty. Garbage can was all overflowed, garbage all over the floor. And that's when I found out they had a state mandate. Clean the bathrooms once a month.
Wow. That's horrible.
Yeah.
The
But
other thing on the rise is hackers. My PayPal got hacked. My bank account got screwed again.
oh my God. Again.
Well, my bank account wasn't bad. That was like, because I checked my bank statement online
Mhm.
like twice a day, and there was 3 unauthorized things on there for shit I never heard of. So, my bank is cool. They'll give you back your money, but they cancel, they kill your credit card. So then you got to wait, 10 days to get another card.
Right.
Yeah.
So I sent some stuff to Board Sort 2 weeks ago, and the guy down there got a hold of me. He's like, "How come I can't put your money in your PayPal?" I was like, "I don't know. I just used my PayPal like 2 days ago." So I came in and looked, and somebody had changed my email, my password, my phone number, and they put it in Spanish. So I couldn't access it. So I had to call PayPal, go through a bunch of bullshit, renew all my crap. And the guy on PayPal was like, "All right, see if you can access it now." Well, then it had an authorization code that, these idiots put on there. Took them 20 minutes to figure all that out.
Wow.
So they basically had to wipe out my whole PayPal account with $3,000 in it, which is gone. So I have to wait for that now. And I called Board Sort. They put my money, in there. It went through. But now it has a 21-day hold on it because it's a reset account. So now I have to wait, 21 days for $900 and 2 months for my $3,000. So they have to investigate all that shit. I cannot win. I took all my money out of the bank. It's all sitting here in a bag.
Where?
Out of my bank.
Uh-huh.
I have $100 in the bank to keep the account open. The rest is sitting right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't trust. I can't trust anything anymore.
No, it doesn't sound like you can.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. When I got hit,
If you have a PayPal, watch your PayPal.
Actually, my PayPal was the only one they didn't get because I caught them because the first 2 cards they used, I caught them while they were using them. And I started notifying everybody. I went into PayPal and got a hold of PayPal and said, put a 48-hour hold on that account. I'm going to change the passwords, access, blah, blah, blah. And so I saved the PayPal from having to deal with me on an after-the-fact basis. But the other 2 cards, man, yeah, they wiped me right out. And I've got the credit card company on the bank on the phone. They pull up my account and they go, "Well, just 45 minutes ago, you just authorized a $900 purchase of Bitcoin." I got to, what the hell? Are you crazy? I was on the phone with you 45 minutes ago. We've been on the phone for an hour and a half. You think I'm sitting here telling you somebody's hacking my account and I'm on here hacking my own account? Well, I'm talking to you. I said, get real. That is not me. Do not authorize that. Don't authorize that damn payment. Yeah, it was crazy.
Dog. These are all passwords. I have them all written down, buddy.
Oh, your passwords? Yeah.
And it still don't help. They still get you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into my passwords, but yeah, some of my stuff I should definitely change. So
Yeah, mine are all Phil sucks.
yeah,
Yeah. Easy to remember.
Phil sucks.
see, that's everybody uses Phil's stuff.
Yeah, but now I'm
Here, I'll
No
show
wonder you got
you.
hacked.
These
No
2
wonder you got
pages.
hacked.
These 2 pages are my passwords.
I'm gonna
See
change
'em?
my password now.
Yeah,
though.
there's all my
Dude,
secrets. You can see them.
Dude, where's
I
my
can.
card?
I can. I don't know why you can't, but wow.
Fuck you,
But-
Raven.
What's
But
up,
yeah,
man?
Sorry.
I've got 49 passwords because there's 49 different sites that I use. And every single one of those passwords are unique. They are not duplicated on any other site. And I've got what I use like a password generator that's 14 characters long, but it's alphanumeric and special characters. So I just want to make sure that they're just where they try to hack my stuff. It's just like he's too inconvenient, he's too small, too much work to hack into him, kind of approach it. But
Looks like your hands are decaying. Are you all right?
that what?
Put your hand up like that. Looks like it's decaying. Yeah, stay around the edges.
Yeah,
And-
just
Decaying.
that blue. No, that's. I have a whole body halo. I'm such an angel.
Yeah, right.
I've got the whole body halo going on. That's my blue screen. That doing that crap. But you want to, yeah, you want to see something? Look at this old guy. I'm gone. I disappeared, man. I can still make a little. I can still make a little bit of a bicep, But yeah, I'm all gone. But I was down to 141 pounds. That's where I kind of crashed. I'm 154 today.
Wow.
Because I'm eating over 3,000 calories a day for the last 2 weeks.
What's up,
Yeah.
Kirk? How you doing? What's up, Todd? Todd, the show was
Hey,
good.
Todd.
I hate to admit it because you're here, but Def Leppard was definitely the best because they sounded like their albums. They sounded like they're supposed to. And Vince Neil can't sing anymore, my friend. He can hit some high notes, but that's when he misses 5 out of 6 words. It's tough to listen to. So, yeah, we left with a couple of songs. We'll have to try to get out of there. So, Vince Neil didn't sing well enough to keep us around to the end. So,
I'll be here, but I'll be off cam for a couple of minutes.
okay.
See, I'm still here.
Okay. How you doing, Tim? Good to see you, my friend. So yeah, I had to get the official shirt, right? You got the pentagram for Motley Crue, and then you got the hysteria for Def Leppard. So I got my wife a couple of them at $50 a pop. Holy shit!
No kidding.
I think
You got $1,000 night.
Oh, I do. Trust. Oh, those tickets that we bought 2 years ago. Yeah, we paid more, and I've never done this before. It was only because we were going with our best friends, and we were going on her birthday. And they wanted to go down close to the stage. The only reason we spent the kind of money that we did for that. Hell, we spent for the T-shirts, 2 beers. She had 2 drinks. The T-shirts were $155 for 3. The drinks were $12 or $13 a piece at a pop. So so we spent probably, and we had to pay for water too. So we probably paid up to $100 just to stay hydrated through the thing. So they do put on a good show. I mean, they had the dancing girls up there. Their light show was good. The stuff they had up on stage was good. I love Nikki. I love Mick Mars. I love Tommy Lee. It's just, and of course, did anybody hear that? I think I mentioned it earlier. Sebastian Bach, after our show, wound up back in the hospital. So he definitely had the best energy. He was the one trying to get his band members, getting everybody up and going first thing. So. No, the whole thing was good. We enjoyed it. We were, again, I mentioned it earlier today. We were out in the sun, out in the middle of that field for 3.5 hours before we finally got some relief from the sun. But I felt bad for the performers staring into the sun. Def Leppard continued to stare into the sun probably halfway through their entire set, and then finally got some relief from the sun. So what did I say? Bret Michaels? I said Sebastian Bach, didn't I?
Well, I like Carlos Santana. You know, he fell out over here at Pine Knob
Yeah,
from the heat and stuff. You know, but he said he didn't eat and he didn't drink any water, so he dehydrated, and it was 90s.
the guy sitting next to me was at that concert that he fell out.
Mhm.
He was talking about it the next day at work. So yeah, no, it's a shame. Again, all these guys, they're guys, and all these concerts. You got to think of these guys now. They're in their 60s, going into their 70s. Some of them have battled cancer and won. I think it was a couple of the guys in a different. They had guys that battled cancer and won. You got guys that have gone through a lot of different things, and they're still up there rocking and still up there doing what they do. So
Yeah.
And they do it, and they look younger than we are, and they're not younger than we are. They're well, I'm an old fat ass now, so I can't jump up and down like that anymore. But
That's because back in the day they had all them good drugs, so a lot of that stuff got preserved.
yeah, I'll tell you. Last night I used to sleep with my right arm underneath the pillow, and I couldn't sleep with my right arm underneath the pillow because there's a little bit of twinging pain in my right shoulder, so I had to sleep a different way. And I thought about it today. I said, I'd guarantee you, I spent a lot of times clapping, with the beat. I bet you, because I've got a separated shoulder, I'll bet you that I probably just doing that probably made it sore enough where I had a little bit of, again, right place, it feels fine, but underneath my pillow sleeping, that's probably exactly what it was. So,
Plus you
you
had
guys were close, huh?
plus you had Connie doing this for 25
Oh
minutes.
yeah, that's true. But that was after the concert. Wow, look at Bradley. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for Phil, aka Dickhead. Wow.
He's so nice.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, that Bradley Whitworth.
I love Bradley.
Yeah, he's so complimentary, ain't he?
He's lucky I like him.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah. I don't know if all of us could get together without us getting our vehicles impounded. Yeah.
Might have to get one big party bus.
I'm going to see these two fellas next summer if all goes well and I recover okay. I'm going to see these two fellas next summer. I'm hooking up my adventure trailer and I'm doing some road tripping next year, man.
You can just stay in my yard.
Yeah, the way my trailer is going to get tricked out. I'll tell you that it only take a minute, but this old guy I used to go to do all my auto repair, older vehicles out of warranty. You take them to a small mom and pop shop somewhere that a good dependable mechanic. Well, this guy, old loner, had his little mechanic shop. It was a 2-stall garage, with hoist and a pit. And it's a nice garage. He had everything he'd ever need, do any repair you wanted. Well, he retired 5 years ago. I run into him the other day, and I said, "Hey, Pete, how you doing? Retired?" He goes, "Shit, I'm working harder now than I did when I had the shop." And I said, "Why is that?" And he says, "Because, I got a 4-car garage out of the place, out at the house." I said, "Yeah." He says, "I moved everything from the shop there, and now my 4-car garage is full of work." And I told him, he had found out what I was going through. He had stopped over. He saw me in the yard. And he says, "So if you recover from this, what are your plans?" I said, "I want a road trip next year." I said, "And it's going to be tough because I want to travel quite a few locations throughout the lower 48 here. And I want to make an Anchorage run. That's 6,000-mile round trip for me."
Wow.
And he said, "Not in that truck, you ain't." He says, "That truck needs too much work, man." He says, "You need a bumper-to-bumper repair on that thing." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I said, "I'm saving the money up." I said, I'll get there. And I had the adventure trailer open, and I'm telling them what I'm going to do in there, put the cabinetry in and all this and that and blah, blah, blah. And now I got this little Coleman mini bike, 200cc mini bike. Yeah, that thing's, I can pop wheelies on it, man. It's a blast. It's a blast. We'll have it tagged on Thursday this week so I can go places with it. But he's looking at that and he goes, well, that mini bike, how do you get that in there? I said, I can't. And he goes, well, you will be able to if I get under there and I put some plate steel on the frame of that trailer and I put a receiver hitch on it. You can get one of them big, heavy grade luggage racks, slides in the receiver, and I'll build you 2 ramps. So you can ride right up onto that, strap her down, and have it hanging from your trailer. And then when you get there, drop the other ramp and drive it up. I said, yeah, right. Yeah, what's that going to cost me?
Right?
He says, let me
Like,
take your truck home and I'll bring it back this evening. And he did. And he brings it back. He says, and I while I was looking your truck over, I was making a list of everything that's got to be done on the truck and what you should probably do to that trailer if you think you're going to Alaska. And here he shows me this big, long list, right? And I said, oh boy, I think that bill, what I thought I'd have to stick into that's going to be a lot more. He said, I'll tell you what, I really thought it through, and all the business you've given me over the years, for the last 23 years you were calling on me, except for the last 5. He said, all that business, he says, I made plenty of money off of you. He says, I'll do the truck and the trailer for $3,000. Oh my God. Some of the work on that truck is, there's these injector modulators that go in the top end of the motor on those Ford V8s that if you don't change that oil, boy, you got to change that oil regularly. A little bit of dirt in that oil and it gums up those modulators. And when they crap out, you can't clean them or nothing. You got to replace them. Well, they're $170 a piece. Plus they charge you about $325 to install them because they got to tear half of the top of the motor off. They got to take the intake off of it. And well, I started adding up, and in that includes 5 new tires all around, all the brakes, rotors. He says we'll replace the calipers and the pads, everything. He says all new brakes. He says your truck will be virtually new. It's got the U-joints, replace the U-joints, fresh U-joints in your truck, everything. And then the trailer, he says, and we're going to get you 2 more spare tires, and I'll put a spare tire rack on it to handle those 2 spares, and blah, blah. He's all these things he listed. I said, $3,000? I said, how long is that price good for? He says, until you get your truck back. He says, I don't care when you bring it to me. He says, let's put it this way. That price is good for a year. Oh, man. I said, where do I sign, man? For
Right.
$3,000? Oh, yeah. He says, yeah, it'll be, in a sense, a rebuilt factory drive and go. He says, he said, if I did warranties, he says, I'd warranty that bugger for a couple of years after I'm done with it. Yeah. I said, oh, well, cool. That's, yeah. So there's road trips next year, man. I'm going to go come see you guys. Yeah. Yeah. So look out, people. Stuy's going to be out roaming.
yeah,
Oh.
I'm 45 minutes or hour away from Mike, but he won't let me come see him. He's like, "Why don't you come over here?"
That's yeah, rah, 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 rah. See, he made a mistake. I got his address. He sent
I
me
got his
shit.
address too, but I ain't gonna go over to the guy's house and have him shoot my ass.
Well, he says he leaves everything unlocked. I'll just go over there and wait down this block until I see him leave. Then I'll go in the house and hang out. Yeah.
I'm usually next door in the garage, so you can get in the house anyway. I won't even see you. 'Cause most of the time, I don't even have a big door open.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as I'm quiet, going in and out so that you don't hear somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I come in the back door and I'll smell that funky odor, I'll say, "Oh, Stein must be here."
Yep. Oh damn.
It won't be cigarette odor.
Yeah, good.
I shouldn't have even said that word.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My
Oh,
wife
you don't-
hasn't smoked for about, I want to say it's been about 3 months now.
Mm,
She quit. Well, her brother died of,
right.
all sorts of cancer and stuff in his body back,
And
6,
For
7
some
months
folks,
ago.
that triggers it,
Yeah.
And for me, actually, the cancer team said after your surgery and your recovery after the surgery, if you take up smoking again, we'll be disappointed. But at that point, what's it going to matter? But they said between now and the surgery, you have to be quit for at least 2 weeks up front for the pulmonary issues. They want to make sure I can breathe the best I possibly can, have the largest lung capacity as possible. So they said, and some of the tests they're putting me through can't have any caffeine and or nicotine in your system at all.
Wow.
So I got to cut out coffee a week from today.
Wow.
And then
So no nicotine and no coffee.
right.
What are they going
and
to cut out too? Air?
don't cut out the air, man. Well, and you know, that's a bummer. It's what they're doing for me is it's saving my life, really.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
that's what they're doing. They're saving my life.
Yeah.
But there's some trade-offs, man. When they remove your esophagus in the top portion of your stomach, there's a valve right where the esophagus and your stomach come together.
Mm-hmm.
That valve, once the food and things go into your stomach, that valve closes so none of it can come back out. Well, that relaxes and spasms when you eat too many super hots, and you know, and that's when you throw up, right? Well, guess what? They're removing that. It won't even exist anymore, that valve. The only valve I'll have in my esophagus is up here in the throat. That only opens and closes so that you don't get air in your stomach when you're breathing.
Huh.
So that doesn't keep anything in or stop things from going in. It doesn't do that. All it does is close so you don't get air in your stomach. Well, that thing's worthless as far as I'm concerned. Hell, you get air in your stomach, belch, you know?
Right?
Well, I asked them, after I'm fully recovered, can I enjoy whatever I want? They said in very small portions. You know, your meals are going to be about 8-ounce meals, but we want you to have 5 or 6 meals a day. You know, that you're going to spend the rest of your life walking around with trail bars and all kinds of crap in your pockets to munch on all day. You're going to be hungry all the time. They said, which is good. Just keep eating until you feel full and just keep eating. Well, I said, does it mean I can imbibe again? My thoracic surgeon says, he says, a good fine bourbon, a really good whiskey, some nice high-end gin or vodka, go for it. He said, but you're not allowed to drink champagne, beer, or any other carbonated alcohol product unless I'm there to watch. And I go, what the hell are you talking about? He says, you thought you had a head on that beer when you started drinking it? Wait till you see the head in your face when that foams right back up your esophagus and out your mouth.
Wow.
There's nothing to hold carbonated product down in your digestive system. It'll just come right back. You'll foam at the mouth if you drink beer. And I said, that's a bummer, man.
That sucks.
There's nothing worse than stale beer, you know?
Yeah. Well, you just have to leave it out on the counter open for a few days,
Right.
and then you can drink it.
Right. That's it. There's nothing worse.
Maybe you'll just get used to stale beer, and you'll be fine.
Oh, I don't think so. I
I think if you leave it sitting out, you also lose some of the alcohol content too, right? It
well,
gets
that's
stale
true.
and
It's going to evaporate. And well, maybe you could. Put like cellophane over the top with a little rubber band on it or something in the fridge, open,
Yeah.
so that it can vent a little, but it can't evaporate everything out of it.
Ooh.
I don't know. I may start. Middle Music says, style be eating pizza on a stick. I don't need to. I took a 12-inch frozen pizza and I put literally 3/4 of a pound of extra crap on top of it, right? Baked that sucker. I couldn't believe it. I ate the first half of it within 45 minutes to an hour. The second half, I warmed back up 2 hours later and ate that. I ate it all. Ate the whole damn thing. So that's it. And I can only eat like that until the 24th of this month. And then I'll never be able to eat like that again in the rest of my life. So I'm making good of it these 2 weeks, man. It's just look out. The Chinese restaurant in town, they know my voice now when I call them.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm calling. And They think I'm ordering for like 4 people. No, it's for me. It's just for me. Yeah. I love it. I'm loving that part of it. That's why I'm so happy and feeling so good. I can eat again. Yeah.
Well, before I wrap this up, I'm going to tell you a little story. Ty just gave it to me, but I've got a lot of these Chinese or Thai food places you call up. You tell them Phil, and they get it wrong. I don't care what you do. You tell them Phil, they get it wrong. So whenever I call and order food, I just tell them Joe.
Joe.
Right? I tell them Joe. Joe. They all know Joe, right? Joe was hunting them back in the field rice paddies back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So it was been months ago. Thai food restaurant across the place. I ordered my food. Hang up the phone with them. One of my customers walk in. I spend the next hour and a half with this person. Can't get rid of them. They want, they're not buying a car, but just one of those ones you can't get rid of. Well, finally I get rid of them. I go across the street. I pick up my Thai food. She's like, why no one know where you at your work? I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, well, when you didn't come and pick up your food, I said, I call next door for Joe. And they give me a Joe, but it's not a Joe that they ordered the food. And it says, and I keep calling, and they say, no. And we get a Joe, and Joe says, no. I'm like, so I had to explain to the lady, my name's not Joe. My name's Phil. But when I was calling in as Phil, you guys would always get it wrong. So I say Joe. She still calls me Joe when I call in the Thai food place across the street. But she knows that my name's not Joe.
She knows it's not, but I bet you she can't spell Phil.
I've had people, Phil is an easy. I mean, a lot of people confuse it with Bill, but I've had people say Sill. What the fuck is Sill? Sill. Huh? What? That's not a fucking name.
That's if it is. There's something. There's a story behind that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's when they screw your name up that you just like. It's so simple. My email address is basically sty.north@yahoo.com. And you try to tell them, I learned, don't say it's sty.north at, because it's like shy. Is it? Yeah. No. So now if I have to give my email to somebody, I spell it out for them because they are not going to get it.
People are dense.
They are. It just, if you take the shit out of your ears, you'd hear what I said.
Sty, I'm going to donate some of this hair for your beard, buddy.
Too dark.
Well, yeah, what the fuck's he going to do with that?
I'd have to bleach that sucker, boy.
Well, you can bleach it. You can do whatever you want with it.
What's up, Dylan?
You and that damn hair. I got hair too. Look at that. Sty's got hair, man. I got hair. It's the only thing that frickin' grew going through cancer treatments.
This is my suicide weapon right here. I'm just gotta get along because I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah, just pull it under the chin and tie that in. Yeah.
Because it'll go all the way to right here.
Yeah.
I just need about that much more.
Yeah.
And then I'll be dangling in the garage over there.
Dangling in the garage. Now this is not even a joke, man. This is not a joke. This is in the town I grew up in. My dad was the local chief of police. He came home one evening and you could tell he was upset. My mother kept pushing him at the dinner table. What? Why are you so upset tonight? No. Finally he said, we had a suicide today. He says, all right. And she goes, oh no. She goes, that's terrible. Don't tell us how he did it. He goes, you ask, you're going to hear it. He hung himself. He says, but the poor bastard didn't succeed. He says, and a couple of my officers were kind of brutal with him when we got there. He went to hang himself in his garage, and the rafters were so rotten that when he dropped, the rafter broke, but it stayed snug. It wasn't tight enough to choke him. And he couldn't get it off. He wasn't able to untie it. So he's in there screaming and changing his mind after the rafter broke. And when my dad pulled in the driveway, he says, I see this guy with a rope around his neck tied to the ceiling. and he's dancing around in the middle of his garage. Yeah, he said a suicide that just didn't play out. You
Whoa.
know? Whoa!
Right?
Hey, what's up, Timmy?
What's up,
Hey,
Nancy
Tim,
and Jimmy?
hi,
What's up,
good to
man?
see you, buddy? Finally caught alive. Yeah, Tim's great, man. I like a lot of his shorts. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of them.
Yeah, I see a lot of his stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been trying to comment on more of his stuff on TikTok. Tim, what I really want to do is get on TikTok and give you a hard time with your disability and everything. But I'm always a little apprehensive that someone's going to freaking attack me
Oh yeah,
for,
it'll come back to haunt you.
for giving you shit, you know?
Right. I went through a spell not that terribly long ago about people PMing me and saying, "Hey, I don't like the way so and so was talking to you, or what they said about you, or what they called you." This, and I go, "They're my buddies, you know."
Right.
And yeah, we talk to each other that way. Well, we don't hear you say that to them. So I'll say, well, okay, I'll send them a message and then I'll CC it to you so you can see that I said it to them. I said, don't worry about it. Don't get so personally butthurt over me and a buddy
Well, that's
bashing each other, you know?
that's everybody wants to be offended for somebody else. If you're not offending them, then they're looking for you and what you offended someone else or what they think has offended someone else. Yeah,
Right.
I had one of my good YouTube friends, not part of this group, but one of my good YouTube friends. We've been away from each other for a while because what I thought was a good friendship, and I could give a friend a little ribbon, a little.
Yeah.
I couldn't, and he
Oh.
took offense to it.
Really?
He doesn't hang out with me anymore. You know, he said when I did a live not too long ago. He says, no, that's water under the bridge, blah blah blah. But he still hasn't been back around, and it's not someone that you guys, I mean, you know him, but you don't know him because he's not
Right,
around. He's going around a lot. Anyways, but it's just like I felt that we had a better relationship than that. And of
Yeah.
course, it was one of those nights too. We were doing one of those game show things where it's like Cards Against Humanity or something. And I didn't have any cards, so I had to make up my own bullshit. So I thought it was funny, and he took offense to it.
And then look at Nicholas's great comment. I love it.
You wouldn't believe how many channels I'm blocked from.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
not the
Wouldn't you,
host-
Nicholas Green?
not
Just
the host blocked me, but people, if I wasn't monetized, they blocked me in a heartbeat. Tons of them. Or I
Yeah.
used to
well, they
get all
don't know
kinds
you're
of
friends
messages,
with the host, right?
and then I get a million messages.
Well, they don't know.
And my comment to every one of them was "fuck you," just like that. That's exactly what I told them.
Yeah.
Well, again, if they don't know you're friends you're friends with the host,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if there's people on the panel. I mean, we all know the same people. Like freaking Metal Music Maniac, that piece of shit. That guy's just useless, looking for attention.
Wow.
Yeah, Tim, you're,
Shit like that. If somebody didn't know we knew each other, I'd catch some bullshit over that. But I was on. There's a couple other people I deal with, and this one kid came on the panel I was on, and he would not leave me alone. I didn't say a word to the guy, and he's just calling me all this. I just finally left because I was about to explode on him, and I didn't want to do that to the host. And then I did a live stream, and a little cocksucker came and wanted to try to get on my panel. I was like, "Are you serious, dude? What the fuck?" So he got blocked. I mean, the guy has a disability, and it's not Fulton or Raven; it's somebody else.
it's not Fulton or Raven. It's somebody
Fulton and Raven have disabilities? What?
Well, Raven's a little fucked up.
else.
But no, it was just, and it just like, he just wouldn't ever, just relentless. I was like, oh my God. Dude, Ariel Williams. I haven't seen her in a
What's
while.
up, Ariel? How
Yeah,
you doing,
Ariel.
man?
Hi.
Hadn't
Yeah,
seen you in a while.
it is. There are definitely people out there that you wish the YouTube community could vote whether they're allowed to have a channel or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, you know,
Because they have no content, but boy, they sure create some weird content on everybody else's channels.
yeah, and it's funny because if I'm on somebody's panel, the host will tell them, you know, because like me and Nick Jones, we go at it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah,
And you know, but if there's people in the chat that don't know that, they lose their minds until, you know, the host has to say, look, you know, these guys know each other, they do this all the time. You know, Mike does this with everybody, just, you know, and you know, it kind of goes away. But man, there's just some people just want to hang on to it.
because you brought Nick Jones up, I had a live a couple weeks ago that it was amazing. Loopy Lisa got a hold of me, and I told her, I said, I'm going live. Get up there. Yeah, and she showed up, and I got her on panel. Well, then I brought Nick Jones up, right? And Nick's his goofy self, you know. I love it. You know, he's so off the wall. He's just awesome for that way. But Lisa and Nick didn't know each other, right? And they're trying to get to know each other. And Lisa says, where are you from, Nick? Your accent. I go, where are you from? And he said he's from Wales. And she goes, bullshit, you're from Wales. You ain't from Wales. There ain't no way. There ain't nobody in Wales that talks like that. Oh, gosh. Cute little loopy Lisa starts ripping Nick a new ass and telling him, you're lying. You're lying to these people. You are not from Wales. You aren't Welsh. I'm telling you. And he's like, I was raised here. I was born here. And she goes, no, you weren't. She says, if you were kept indoors all the time, never allowed exposure to the locals, and you were raised by a non-Welsh family.
Actually, Nick Jones not exposed to any.
Yeah. I could see not exposing the community to him if he was my child. Yeah, but Lisa was tearing into him.
That's funny.
And all of a sudden, Nick, boom, he disappears. He's off my panel. He disappears. He's not even in the basement. He just took off, man, and never said a word out in the chat or nothing the rest of the night. Well, I messaged him the next day. I said, I'm sorry, man, if Lisa upset you. And he goes, no, I wanted to equally tear back at her, but she seemed like a pretty sweet gal, kind of nice. And he said on your channel, if I start beating up on a girl because she don't know where the hell I was born. Yeah. I told him, I said it was to die for, man, because everybody saw this. Wow, somebody talked down Nick, man.
Right?
And it was that gal. Yeah, that was pretty good. You ain't what? Bullshit. You ain't well. I was just like, oh. And then he said, how would you know? He says, you live just about 20 miles from Stonehenge, for God's sakes. And how the hell would you know how we speak up here in Wales? And she goes, I was stupid and I married a Welshman. And she said, we always went to Wales to visit the family. That made him a little speechless too, like, oh shit. Yeah. And she said she divorced him for the same reason she would divorce Nick, because he's full of shit. I said, oh God, that's so good. I was just sitting back, man. Take my show, you two. You're just doing great.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Loopy Lisa show not too long ago, probably about 6 weeks or so, where she wound up there. I think Adam was up there. Adam's from over across the pond, and he's our guy, a friend of mine. That he plays for the other team, anyways.
Right.
And yeah, they went back and forth, and it was funny.
Oh yeah. It can get really hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't seen Lisa in a while. And Nick Green, I'm still waiting for my frickin' garlic, you little prick.
Yeah, I seen that garlic he harvested. That was some pretty nice.
I wanted some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your ass up and go to the corner store and get some.
Fuck that.
Go get some that's grown in China. Yeah.
The world's out there. I don't want to go out there. The world's out there.
Yeah. Just don't you ever watch the news? You don't want to go out in the world.
No, we just had a Detroit cop killed the other day.
It's a lot
We did.
safer at
We
home.
did.
That's
And
bad. That's bad.
You know what's funny? When we went to that first place that we had to pay the fine, you had that, no exceptions. You had to have a mask. And, you know, it's been lifted in Michigan now probably for what, 6, 7, 8 months
And you had to wear a
And-
mask to a
to
Chop
go
shop?
inside. To go inside the building where we paid the fine, not the chop shop.
Yeah.
Where we paid the
no
initial
cop,
fine.
chop.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just any cop
Yeah,
office.
yeah.
Well, if you got to do that at a kiosk and type affair there, what do you got to do it down at the police station? Holy God! You got to come in a hazmat suit or what?
Luckily, when we had a couple still left in the vehicle, but when we got there, well, I said, "Oh my God, I don't know if I've got any of that." Because we wanted to make sure we had this, we had everything, made sure we had everything we could possibly need,
Yep.
and we hadn't thought about masks.
No,
I'm thinking I'm going to have to go in like this, right?
yeah. I was surprised going through all those cancer treatments and shit. You're in a big medical facility. You're in these, they call them infusion rooms, where they hook you all up to the tubes and crap. You got to wear a mask when you come into the place, into their waiting room and check in. Then they take you in the exam room. The minute you walk through the door, you're allowed to take the mask off. The staff that work there aren't allowed to take theirs off, but you can take yours off the minute you walk through the doorway into any exam room or treatment room.
Huh.
I love that, man. They said, well, it's for your comfort. They said, we protect ourselves from you.
Yeah.
And if we're being protected, you're pretty well protected in here. You know, yeah. For you to go without a mask, but everybody else around you has to wear one, you're pretty safe. You know. So, but we want that comfort level, and oh boy, I appreciated that crap. That's the best. You know, there's not too many high sides to cancer treatment, but I'll tell you what, when you're in their infusion center, that's pretty cool when they come in and they serve you coffee your way. And they look like a vendor at a ball game, man. They come in with this big basket that's got a strap on it over her neck, and it's packed full of snacks, any kind of snack you could dream of. You know, snack cakes, chips, candy bars, all that crap.
With a simple
Help
set of things
yourself.
we're going through.
They make it that it's like they're treating you like you're at a ball game. So that, and then they give you the remote to the big flat screen TV you got in their room. And it drove them nuts though, because for 5.5 weeks, there every day of the week. What am I watching? The Food Channel. I'm watching the Food Channel, barbecue competitions and stuff like that. Those girls that drove them nuts, they said, your damn appointment is always mid-morning. So we've got another half of the morning before we get to eat our lunches, and you got us all so damn hungry before you leave because of that. My bad. I'm sorry, but I can't help myself. I got to watch food channels because someday I'll eat that shit. I'm going to eat that.
Someday. I'd just be able to eat it in 8-ounce portions.
Yeah. Well, not now. This
No,
last
right now,
week and a half and this coming 2 weeks, I eat whatever I want. And I got a whole list of food channel recipes I kind of wrote down. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying that shit. I even went and bought myself a barbecue for the backyard. I've
There you go.
grilled twice now.
Metal music. Maybe I should give this cat the garlic because that one's almost dead.
What the heck?
Yeah. She's on her way out.
Well,
Oh,
down there smelling your shoes.
She's on death row here.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
oh, bummer. Bummer.
Put a blanket over it when it goes.
Yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's been having a rough time lately.
yeah.
Earl, that son of a bitch, he'll never fucking die.
Earl? Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Earl's like a wife. Just got to keep you in line.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's running water's bean. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Running Water don't kiss nobody's ass, but that dog's.
With that dog.
I mean, yeah, he don't do nothing to disappoint the dog. Don't do it. And that dog, I can't remember what he said he did that he could tell the dog was a little pissed at him. Well, he's got this expensive rosewood beard comb that he always uses and he carries in his pocket with him all the time. He had set it in the truck and he had to jump out of the truck, do something. He gets back in the truck and the dog chewed the shit out of it. Just
Really?
And that damn thing cost him $35 for a comb, for God's sakes. And that dog ate it, just chewed it up. And that dog's never touched it in 2 years. Has never touched the thing. But yeah, Running Water pissed him off. And yep, I'm eating your damn comb. Yeah, yeah, you could tell.
He left being stranded for 5 days.
There you go.
No, he didn't.
Stranded.
Couldn't go nowhere.
Oh, yeah, they were laying over. Well, I suppose being after a day or two was wondering, well, if we ain't moving, why aren't I at the doggy spa? Yeah, because that's the first thing Running Water does. You come home, Bean's here for less than 48 hours, and off he goes to the doggy spa for a week and comes back home smelling like not like a boy dog, let's put it that way. Last time, though, I told Running Water, you tell them never sent that dog that way again and send it back here to us. And he goes, what? I said, lavender. That don't fly. That don't fly. I cannot stand lavender. I have nightmares. I have nightmares of old church ladies. Every time I smell lavender, I picture old church ladies, old sweaty church ladies. They try to cover up their sweat with lavender. Come here, you little boy. I want to give you a big hug. No, don't, you lavender-soaked stink bag. Yeah, so lavender, ever since I was a little kid, forced to go to church and put up with the stinky lavender ladies, has never flown with me. I'm not good with lavender. My ex-wife had a bottle of lavender perfume, and she used that as punishment on me. She never wore it, but she'd sprinkle it on the dress, or she one time put like 3 drops of that crap on my pillow. You know, she says it gets your attention. I said, and she always hid that bottle. I couldn't find the bottle unless it was in her hand. I want to get rid of it.
Might be dead. Stand by. Nope, not dead.
No. Don't make any assumptions.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, we're a little beyond 2 hours. I gotta get to bed and get a good night's sleep. I gotta work tomorrow. So, Ty, it's been good seeing you, man. We'll see you Thursday night, man.
Yeah.
Mike, it's a really long time no see. So, hang out a little more often, man.
I only came up here to make fun of your ass.
Well, I know. Well, I know why you came up, because I was talking about your hometown.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, well, this is some shit I know about. Fuck them Peppers, but Hamtramck and Detroit and I could talk this shit. So
that's what you get.
That's what you get. So
that's what you get.
Everybody out in the chat, man, thank you. Mayberry, Rebecca, Lawn Dog, everybody that's hung out with us the whole thing. Timmy, I appreciate you guys all hanging out.
Great seeing all them folks.
Sty, Mike, thanks for coming and hanging out with
yes,
me tonight.
Sir.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Keep it spicy.
You bet. Bye, folks.
Oh. And broadcast.